All right, so today we're going to do a deep dive into the life of a Canadian soldier.
Ooh.
We're really trying to get beyond the headlines and understand what it's really like to serve in the Canadian Armed Forces.
Right.
We've got some amazing excerpts here, almost like a day-in-the-life diary.
Interesting.
And it really helps us understand the person behind the uniform.
Yeah.
What we're really aiming for today is to see beyond the tasks and the training and really discover the camaraderie,
Yes.
the challenges, the motivations that make up a soldier's life.
It's an important distinction to make because military life is not always what you see in the movies.
Right.
There's a whole world of experience that often goes unnoticed by most people.
Exactly. And speaking of a day in the life,
Mm-hmm.
where better to begin than sunrise at the barracks,
Oh, yeah.
this source really highlights the structured routine, wake-up call, physical training,
Yes.
breakfast.
Yeah.
Sounds like a very different way to start the day than most.
Oh, yes. Absolutely it is. And that structure isn't arbitrary.
Right.
That shared experience,
Yeah.
starting with PT and breakfast with fellow soldiers, builds a foundation of unit cohesion.
Okay.
It's about more than just physical fitness. It's about forging a bond, a sense of reliance and trust
Okay.
that is absolutely critical in those high-pressure situations.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
that shared experience.
Right.
It's fascinating how something as simple as a shared breakfast can have such a profound impact on a soldier's experience.
Absolutely.
And that brings us to our soldier's specific role,
Yes.
which, according to the source, involves expertise in a pretty intense area. Could you shed some light on this without reviewing any classified information, of course?
Without going into specifics, let's just say
Okay.
the soldiers' training focuses on rapid response to a range of security threats,
Wow.
from natural disasters to international conflicts.
So they have to be ready for anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it requires a high level of technical skill and mental fortitude. And it plays a crucial role in upholding Canada's commitments, both domestically and abroad.
That definitely sets the stage for the next part of our deep dive.
Yes.
Training and drills.
Okay.
The source material doesn't shy away from the intensity of the training,
Right.
even mentioning different types of weapons and equipment used. What are the key takeaways here for our listener?
Well, the intensity of the training reflects the real-world demands
Right.
that these soldiers face. They're trained to handle a variety of weapons systems,
Okay.
operate complex equipment under extreme pressure.
Wow.
But what's equally important is the emphasis on teamwork and communication.
Okay.
The source mentions drills that simulate real-life scenarios where split-second decisions and coordinated actions can literally mean the difference between success and failure.
That's a good point. It doesn't just say they learn teamwork.
Right.
It describes these specific scenarios where communication breakdowns could have really serious consequences.
It's not just about mastering the technical skills.
Right.
It's about developing that almost instinctual level of trust and coordination with your team.
Precisely. And that's a thread that runs through a soldier's entire day.
Okay.
Not just during training, even seemingly mundane tasks. The routine duties mentioned in the day on the job section
Right.
contribute to that larger picture of maintaining readiness and vigilance.
That's an interesting point. It's easy to imagine a soldier's day as constant action and excitement.
Right.
But the reality, as the source reveals, is that it also involves a lot of routine.
Yes, a lot of routine.
What's the significance of this routine, especially in relation to protecting national security and upholding Canadian values?
Well, the routine isn't about mindless repetition.
Right.
It's about discipline and precision.
Okay.
It's about ensuring that every task, no matter how small, is performed to the highest standard.
Right.
And that consistency, that unwavering commitment to excellence,
is what ultimately ensures the effectiveness of the Canadian Armed Forces in upholding those values and protecting national security.
it makes you realize that there's a deeper purpose behind every action, every regulation, every seemingly insignificant detail.
Absolutely.
And it can't be easy to maintain that level of focus and discipline day in and day out,
Right.
especially given the emotional toll that comes with this line of work.
Yes, definitely.
The source hints at some of the challenges. The separation from loved ones,
Yes.
the constant pressure to perform, even the potential for facing life or death situations. How do soldiers cope with this emotional burden?
That's a crucial aspect that often gets overlooked.
Right.
The source highlights the importance of support systems, counseling,
Right.
peer groups, access to mental health professionals.
Right.
But beyond that, it's about building resilience, developing coping mechanisms, and finding strength in personal motivations. And that's where the individual stories come in.
Right.
Each soldier has their own unique reasons for serving, their own sources of strength that help them navigate these challenges.
And it's important to remember that these soldiers aren't just robots in uniform.
Oh, absolutely.
They have lives, families, hobbies, passions outside of their service.
Right.
The source mentions some of those beyond the uniform moments.
Yeah.
And I think it's crucial to shed light on those aspects as well.
Absolutely.
Why is this human element so important to understand?
Because it reminds us that soldiers are not defined solely by their profession. They're individuals with complex lives, diverse backgrounds, a wide range of interests.
Okay.
And that richness of experience, that human element, is what makes them so relatable, and it's what allows them to connect with the communities they serve.
It humanizes the uniform in a way.
Yes, definitely.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the key takeaway you hope our listener walks away with?
I hope they gain a deeper understanding of multifaceted lives of Canadian soldiers.
Okay.
It's a glimpse into the dedication, the resilience, the human stories behind the uniform.
Okay.
It's about understanding that every soldier is an individual with their own motivations, challenges, and triumphs.
Exactly. And now that you've had this glimpse into their world, consider how this knowledge might shape your perception when you encounter a soldier in your everyday life.
Right.
Think about the sacrifices they make, the dedication they embody, and the values they uphold.
It's an invitation to move beyond the uniform and see the person.
Yeah.
To acknowledge the weight of their service and the complexity of their experiences.
Beautifully said. And remember, this deep dive is just a starting point. There's so much more to learn, so many more stories to uncover.
Absolutely.
So keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep appreciating the sacrifices of those who serve.
Great advice.
Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me.